furious. Harry demands Palace frees Catherine so Meghan can have exclusive spotlight. And suddenly, the entire royal system is shaking behind closed palace doors. Because this is no longer a family disagreement, this looks like a full-scale power war disguised as an Invictus negotiation. What began as a quiet administrative discussion about the 2027 Invictus Games has now exploded into one of the most shocking internal royal confrontations in modern monarchy history. And the timing? That is what has palace insiders truly alarmed. We are still deep inside May 2026. The games are more than a year away, yet Prince Harry reportedly launched a massive legal-style dossier toward Buckingham Palace as if the monarchy were facing an emergency countdown already ticking toward collapse. Why the panic? Why the pressure? Why now? Those are the questions echoing through Windsor corridors tonight, because according to explosive palace whispers, this was never simply about veterans, charity, or logistics. No. Senior insiders allegedly believe Harry's move was a strategic test, a dangerous attempt to measure exactly how weak the monarchy has become during King Charles's cancer battle. And what truly sent shockwaves through palace walls was the belief that Harry interpreted his father's recent emotional birthday tribute not as love but as surrender. King Charles publicly honored Harry's 40th birthday with warmth, grace, and visible emotion. For many royal watchers, it looked like a father extending an olive branch to his estranged son. But insiders now claim Harry saw something very different: weakness, vulnerability, opportunity. Suddenly, the Sussex camp allegedly moved aggressively, pushing demands so extraordinary that even veteran courtiers were left stunned. And then came the demand that changed everything. The request that reportedly pushed Prince William into absolute fury. Harry allegedly demanded that Catherine, Princess of Wales, dramatically reduce or completely freeze major public appearances during the Invictus period so Meghan Markle could dominate the global spotlight without competition. That single request detonated inside palace walls like a bomb, because this was not viewed as scheduling coordination. This was viewed as psychological warfare. The implication behind the demand was explosive, that Meghan's image struggles were somehow caused by Catherine's overwhelming popularity, and that the palace media machine had deliberately elevated Kate while allowing Meghan to become a global target. Suddenly, this stopped being about event management and became a direct attack on the future queen herself. And insiders say William's reaction was ice cold. No hesitation, no diplomacy, no flexibility. Palace aides reportedly described the Prince of Wales as completely done with ambiguity. To William, this crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. Catherine has spent years enduring pressure, illness rumors, invasive media attention, and endless public scrutiny while maintaining silence and dignity. So for Harry to allegedly suggest she step aside so Meghan could enjoy an uninterrupted royal-style return, that reportedly triggered a level of anger inside William unlike anything courtiers have witnessed in years. Some insiders claim the future king now sees Harry not as a troubled younger brother, but as an active institutional threat. But behind this entire conflict sits another terrifying reality the palace cannot ignore: the financial crisis reportedly surrounding Birmingham 2027. Massive sponsors pulling back, governments hesitating, questions about funding spiraling behind the scenes. And according to palace analysts, Harry knows the Invictus Games cannot survive another reputational collapse. So what better way to revive the Sussex image than forcing the monarchy itself to become the promotional engine? Suddenly, everything begins connecting together. The demand for Meghan's royal treatment, the insistence on official titles, the pressure for sovereign-level security, the effort to silence criticism, the attempt to neutralize Catherine's media dominance. Piece by piece, insiders allegedly believe Harry was constructing an entire parallel royal operation around Invictus itself. Then the situation became even darker, because according to the dossier claims, Harry allegedly tied royal security negotiations directly to Archie and Lilibet's future presence in Britain. Palace insiders were horrified. The implication reportedly delivered to King Charles was devastating. If enhanced state-funded protection was denied, Meghan would not bring the children to the United Kingdom. Suddenly, this transformed from palace politics into emotional blackmail against a grandfather battling cancer. And that changed the emotional atmosphere completely. Senior figures reportedly began describing the negotiations not as reconciliation talks, but as a hostage situation wrapped inside royal diplomacy. The deeper palace insiders investigate Harry's explosive May 2026 strategy, the more terrifying the full picture reportedly becomes, because this is no longer being viewed as a desperate prince trying to organize a sporting event. Inside Inside Buckingham Palace, officials allegedly fear they are watching the construction of an entirely separate royal power structure operating from California, one designed to commercially exploit the monarchy while simultaneously attacking it from the outside. And what truly horrifies senior courtiers is the growing belief that Harry no longer sees the royal family as family at all. He allegedly sees it as leverage, as branding, as currency, as a machine to be controlled, cornered, and emotionally manipulated until it bends to Sussex demands. At the center of this institutional earthquake stands Prince William, increasingly isolated but reportedly more determined than ever. Palace leaks describe a future king who has completely emotionally detached himself from reconciliation fantasies. The old sadness is reportedly gone. In its place is cold calculation. William allegedly believes Harry has crossed too many irreversible lines, attacking Catherine, exploiting the king's illness, weaponizing the children, and attempting to force constitutional concessions through public pressure campaigns. According to insiders, William now views every such demand through one brutal question: if we surrender now, where does it stop? And that question has transformed the palace response into total resistance. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, palace planners are reportedly preparing for the nightmare scenario no one wants to publicly discuss: the possibility that Harry and Meghan may simply bypass royal negotiations altogether and launch a surprise arrival in Britain during the 2027 Invictus Games, with cameras rolling, Netflix crews surrounding them, and global media already positioned to capture every second. That possibility has triggered panic at the highest levels because it would place King Charles into an impossible trap. Imagine the optics: a cancer-stricken monarch forced to either reject his grandchildren in front of the entire world or publicly submit to Sussex pressure under emotional blackmail. Palace officials reportedly fear this exact scenario could become the ultimate royal ambush. And William? Insiders claim he already has a counterattack prepared. If Harry attempts a public pressure operation, the Prince of Wales is reportedly willing to enforce a complete royal boycott around the Invictus Games itself. No joint appearances, no shared stage, no royal balcony moments, no photographs beside Meghan, nothing. Palace sources suggest William believes the Sussex brand survives almost entirely on borrowed royal credibility. Remove the monarchy's visible participation, and the entire California operation allegedly collapses under its own weight. That is why this conflict has become so vicious. Both brothers reportedly believe the future survival of their worlds depends on winning this war. But the saddest part of this entire crisis may be the human cost hidden underneath the headlines. Because the Invictus Games were originally created to honor wounded veterans rebuilding their lives through resilience and sport. Now insiders fear the event itself is being swallowed alive by royal toxicity. Sponsors are nervous. Political officials are anxious. Corporate partners reportedly fear becoming trapped inside a global monarchy scandal instead of supporting veterans. And if public hostility between London and Montecito continues escalating, the very people Invictus was created to protect may become collateral damage in an elite royal civil war. Ultimately, this entire battle has exposed something far darker than a simple feud between brothers. It has revealed two completely opposite visions of monarchy itself. For Harry and Meghan, insiders claim the institution represents global influence that can be monetized, negotiated, and repackaged into media power. But for William, the crown is reportedly sacred, a lifelong constitutional duty that must survive even if personal relationships are destroyed in the process. That is why the atmosphere inside Windsor now feels so dangerous. Nobody believes peace is realistically coming anymore. The emotional bridges are burned. The trust is dead. The negotiations have become warfare, and as the countdown toward Birmingham 2027 quietly continues in the background, royal insiders fear the House of Windsor may already be entering the most explosive and irreversible chapter of its modern history.